Hello everyone, my name is Betül. As you know, last week we talked about the beyond the language. We talk about the how your body language or how your facial expressions, your gestures affect your classroom interaction. So today we are going to talk about types and functions of storytelling. First of all, what will we learn today? We are going to look at the stories in the classroom interaction, into the story, through the story, and beyond the story. We will talk about them in detail. Yes, first of all, stories in the classroom interaction. First of all, we have a question in here. When was the last time you heard a good story? Actually, when I was in high school, my English teacher generally told us stories about his personal life or in a general topic. So I think this time was a good story for me. So why do we tell stories? Actually, we do tell stories. We tell stories for many reasons. But in the classroom, actually, we tell some stories to capture the students' attention or to create a more comfortable and to create a more like good place for the students. So we tell stories in the classroom. So when a teacher tells a story, actually he or she tries to probably tries to capture the student's attention or try to create emotional connection or makes the learning more memorable. And stories provide a shared structure that helps people like understand difficult or abstract ideas because sometimes there's some hard topics, there's some abstract topics, so it can be hard to understand them for the students. So actually, we tell stories to tell it better. And then express the personal and emotional experiences. We tell stories. And then storytelling in the classroom again. Students and teachers, unlike the family, don't share the same social background. General students and teachers can have different social backgrounds. They have some different perspective about storytelling. So they may have some different expectations about the stories, like what are the stories for or how they should be told. It can be some a bit like conflict for them. At this point, stories can sometimes work or sometimes fail. So some benefits of this storytelling. Actually, it bridges individual and social worlds and connects different cultures. As we said, in the classroom, there can be some different students that coming from different backgrounds. So actually, storytelling can connect different cultures. And then, of course, there are some drawbacks of storytelling. They are like they can cause a misunderstanding, and then the classroom interaction can break down. So, typical story starters. Many classroom stories begin with open-ended questions, such as like, "Tell us about your birthday," or "How did you get that card?" Or "Let me tell you about this, blah blah blah," or "You're not going to believe this, but blah blah blah." These questions or these sentences actually help the encourage students to like talk about their stories or um, these sentences encourage the students to continue to talk. And then teachers elicit stories from the students, and the same thing actually for the students. Students elicit from stories from their teachers. And then interactional contingency and stories. Students often come to class with stories. So they use any opportunity to tell them. And then like uh, what count as a story prompt depends on the interaction actually. So what was the theme of the last night's reading and what happened to you last night? Actually, this is a more like personal story. And there are some story instigators like press for the preschool and for the high schools. For the preschools, Barbie dolls, kittens, toys, like can be a story for the students. Or in the high school, graffiti, posters, or sketchbooks can create a story for the students. And then embed stories. Stories are embedded in other events like sharing time, test review, or current events. And border narratives, stories at the edge of lessons. Some of the most important stories embed like between activities or before the bell rings, after the lessons. It can be changed actually according to the time or according to the student's condition. Teachers shouldn't miss these border narratives. Listening carefully to students' stories help teachers to design more meaningful lessons or bridge students' world with academic content. And also, actually, this help teachers to create a more comfortable classroom interaction for the students. And then through the story, many stories follow a recognizable pattern. Like, first of all, generally there is a problem, and after that there is a response for this problem, and then there is a consequence. This structure creates expectations for the listeners because listeners actually try to understand the general context, so they try to follow the order, and they help them to follow the story and encourage them to stay engaged. And we have also narrative dimensions. So what are they? We have tellership. Tellership means like the person that tells the story and how many people tell a story at once. And tellability, how captivating and dramatic story is. Embeddedness, it means like how much it relates to another event in which it is told. Or we have also linearity, whether it proceeds strictly, chronologically, or varies. And we have moral stance, it means like how the tellers evaluate or places moral value on the event of the story. And then we have cultural differences in storytelling. Of course, there is some cultural differences. Like in some cultures, like road wild stories are expected to be more factual or linear, and exaggeration seen as lying in these cultures. And then, um, however, in some other cultures, like attractant storytelling is very different. Like good stories include a talking junk or emotional and dramatic layering. And this story doesn't have to be perfectly factual. What matters is how the story feels and how people connect to it emotionally. And then classrooms often value only one kind of story, generally, and generally expect truthfulness or linearity. And then audience shape the story. Listeners contribute to like notes, louder or silence. Generally, when students maybe while listening a story, they can be in silence, but sometimes also they can try to add some details, maybe express their emotions, or sometimes maybe they can add their own personal stories about the topic or about this story. And also, audience may also challenge facts, add details, and can express their emotions. And actually, in here, the goal is not to judge the truth, but to understand what students are trying to say. Actually, it is important because sometimes students can tell some long stories, or it can be some irrelevant stories about the topic. But actually, it is important to understand them, what they're going to say. And then beyond this story, how stories influence interactions after they're told. Once a story is told, it doesn't end the interaction, it reshapes it. Like storytelling encourage multiple perspective or allows extended told. Actually, students try to add something to the stories, like maybe from their cultures, maybe from their personal lives. They always try to continue the talk. They try to continue to the story. And long-term consequences of storytelling, like make lessons more comfortable, and the students learn that others have different experiences. And then, if you remember in MOOC, I guess there was an example about a student's birthday party. There are some other students. There were some other students in the class, and they were talking about their own culture, their own perspective, or their own personal like birthday party. They always try to reshape the conversation, actually. I think that's all for today. These are some of my comments from the MOOC. Thank you for listening. See you again later.